I think that if as a community of people, on a global scale, sorry, that's my cat. If we just focused more on beauty, there would be a lot less conflict and hate among us. We are always focused on the differences between us. And, we've come a long way from things like racism and really extreme classism, which obviously still exists, but to a lesser degree now. But we're so focused on what divides us on a daily basis. I'm a Democrat. The Republicans are going to force hardworking immigrants out of this country. They are going to fuck up healthcare. They are going to give tax cuts to the rich at the expense of the EPA's budget. You name it. I'm a Republican. The Democrats are going to take away my weapons. They are going to make the gas so expensive that I can't afford to put fuel in my truck. We all have different perspectives based on our upbringing and our needs. And we're so centered along those perspectives in our daily life. They rule our thought process, how we interact with the world, kind of everything we do, what we discuss, who we're friends with, what we care about, what groups we identify with. And we are so focused on this division. I mean, almost subconsciously, we surround ourselves with people who bounce these things back at us, who share our beliefs. I mean, not everyone, but the majority of us. And I just feel like if we were less focused on what divides us and more focused on what is and what is around us, and just to more of a degree, the objective reality and how lucky we are just to be here. Because there is so much more that unites us as people than there is that divides us. And I feel like this is going into the theoretical realm, but all our division is based on concepts that we humans have created. When we were just groups of people surviving, hunting and gathering, early agrarian societies, this kind of conflict didn't exist. And, of course it's inevitable that as human civilization progresses and we become more advanced and we have more time for leisure and more time for thinking, that we're going to start conjecturing, forming ideas, opinions, and different systems of beliefs. And those things are great. I mean, I think it's amazing that the fact that we can all, share this same planet and the same reality and have such vastly different views on morality, on ethics, on religion or the lack thereof, on family structure, you name it. Everything is subjective and based on your culture, your upbringing. And I guess that is ultimately the root of all our conflicts. We disagree. Our ideological frameworks clash, they conflict, they don't align. And we run into this block where we get to a point where we can't make the empathetic gap to understand something from another's perspective. And this has come to kind of rule our life. We are in a constant battle for upholding what we believe is right and wrong in education, in politics, in our daily lives, among our friends. And I think, that's inevitable to a degree. It's how humans work. It's how we operate. That's not going to change. But I feel like there would be a lot less conflict, or less violent and heated conflict to a good degree, if we could focus on what is and what we share, And what that is this planet and the reality we live in and the experience we have and the universal emotions we feel. All these things unite us as humans, and they are innately unique to us as people, as human beings who occupy the same earth. You go to a different country and you find someone from a vastly different culture who has experienced the same combination of emotions, the same turmoil, the same strife, and can give you advice and can empathize with you. And we're so focused on creating these generalizations about groups of people, about Republicans, about Democrats, about Israelis, about Palestinians. And we just fail to look at people, as each person having their own universe inside them. And, I'm not trying to sound like a hippie from the 60s or anything, but we just fail to look at our fellow human beings as people. And we claim to hold empathy as such a strong and important value, yet we don't value it. Even those who are most concerned about its existence. And it's not necessarily your fault if you're not able to be empathetic. It's implicit biases, and that's a simple reality too. But I just wish we could focus more on what we shared, and we all get to live on this beautiful planet, which is sadly being degraded by the day. And there's so much to appreciate. There's so much beauty among us. I mean, whether that be in the natural world, going and looking at, the beautiful mountain ranges and the forests, or even just appreciating what's around you, the way the wind moves and the wind moves through the branches of the trees in your local park, or through the grass outside your house, or just appreciating to humans as well, like appreciating how other people have incredibly unique perspectives on things, on all their little idiosyncrasies. And I don't know, there's just so much that unites us, and so much universal experience that we all share as people. And I think it's sad that in the long run, we ultimately choose to put so much more energy and thought into the things that divide us. And I don't know. I mean, I do this too. I think about how much I disagree and how much hate I see in other people. But to some degree, when we do that, we aren't looking at other people as people. We're looking at them as objects or subjects, or mediums for different ideological beliefs. And we judge them based on those beliefs. And I understand that. I mean, like people who support gun rights after all the mass school shootings we've had, like, how can you not think about that? How can you not, align a person with that belief? And how it's, incredibly difficult not to see, Tim over here, who believes we should have guns permitted in the US, automatic assault rifles. It's hard to remove Tim as a person from Tim's beliefs. But I think, sadly, the changes we want to see aren't just going to happen like that. And I think really the most important step to having any change happening is decreasing the amount of polarization we have between us. And I think that's centered around empathy and looking beyond people's ideological beliefs and just looking at that as humans. Because again, we share so much as people. We share the same emotions, the same struggle, the same pain, the same hunger, the wish that our family members will be safe, the wish that our loved ones feel the same way about us as we do them, the wish that we like ourselves more than we currently do, that we improve our self-image, that we grow as people, that we achieve our goals. And these are just such universal things that tie the human experience and the human condition together. And we just throw it all out the window when we look at other humans and we don't think about it. And I think that is so sad. And I think if we could just start feeling more empathy and looking at humans as humans, not at their beliefs, because ultimately, when you go to the grave, what are you taking with you? You're taking what you loved, the people in your life, the connections you felt, the emotions you felt, and those beliefs, I don't know, they don't define your life in the same way that the most innate human experience does. And we need to focus on that more in order to reduce the amount of hostility between people today. We don't look at people as people. We look at them as ideas, as concepts first, and people second. And it needs to be flipped the other way around. And I think that's just an issue we've had for as long as human civilization has been around. You know, Christians and Muslims, Jews and Christians. It doesn't matter. And I'm yeah. So I just wanted to make this little video. I mean, it's been a good year in many ways. I'm excited to go into 2025. I have so many great friends and people in my life, and you know, I'm subject to all the same problems that I just talked about, but it's just something that's on my mind a lot, and it makes me sad that we can't appreciate the beauty we share and the beauty we exist in above the concepts and the beliefs that we disagree with. And of course, that's not a simple issue, and there's no easy way to just convince people to do that, because hate and division are such powerful things. But love is too, and empathy is as well. And these things are what define us as people, not our hate and superstition and our mistrust. Those things are not what make us people and define us as humans. Our love is. And that needs to come first before anything else. And we need to start looking at our fellow human beings, no matter how much we disagree with them, as people first and foremost. Cheers to 2025.